Here, on this vibrant, bustling planet, an ancient drama unfolds daily, often unseen, yet profoundly impacting both human lives and the destiny of one of Earth's most magnificent creatures. I speak of the increasingly frequent and often perilous encounters between humans and elephants, particularly on the very roads we construct to connect our world. These are not mere chance meetings, they are symptoms of a deeper issue, a consequence of our expanding footprint, intersecting with the ancestral pathways of these gentle giants, leading to moments of tension, fear, and sometimes tragedy. This phenomenon is not confined to one isolated region. Across vast swaths of Asia, in Sri Lanka, my homeland, in the diverse landscapes of India, and the lush forests of Thailand, the story repeats itself. And far across the Indian Ocean, in many African nations, from the savannas to the woodlands, communities and conservationists grapple with the same challenge. Roads, symbols of human progress, become flashpoints where the needs of our species clash directly with the ancient rites of passage claimed by these colossal beings, creatures who have roamed these lands for millennia. The reasons behind these roadside confrontations are complex, a tapestry woven from threads of habitat loss, resource competition, and sometimes simple misunderstanding. It is a narrative of shrinking wilderness and growing human populations, forcing two intelligent species into ever closer and often uneasy proximity. In this series, we shall journey into the heart of this conflict, seeking to understand not just why elephants appear on our roads, but what drives their behavior when they do, and what we in turn can do to foster a more harmonious coexistence. For countless generations, elephants have traversed this earth following routes etched into their collective memory, pathways as vital to their existence as the air they breathe. These are the elephant corridors, ancient highways of the wild, connecting feeding grounds, watering holes, and crucial social congregation areas. They are invisible lines on our maps, perhaps, but to the elephants, they are lifelines, ensuring genetic exchange between herds, access to seasonal resources, and the very fabric of their complex societies. Imagine, if you will, these vast networks pulsating with the quiet rhythm of colossal feet, a testament to an older, wilder world. But now, into this ancient design, humanity has driven its own relentless infrastructure. Roads, railways, burgeoning settlements and agricultural expansion slice through these historical corridors with uncompromising linearity. What was once an uninterrupted tapestry of forest and grassland becomes a patchwork, fragmented and disconnected. For an elephant herd on the move, a newly laid stretch of tarmac or a rapidly expanding village is not merely an obstacle. It is a fundamental disruption to their way of life. A barrier that can isolate them from essential resources or even from other members of their own kind, severing connections built over eons. The consequences of this fragmentation are profound and far-reaching. Herds become confined to smaller, often degraded pockets of habitat, increasing competition for dwindling food and water. Genetic diversity, so crucial for the long-term health of any species, diminishes as populations become isolated. And the elephants, driven by instinct and necessity, are often left with little choice but to attempt to cross these man-made barriers or to linger dangerously close to them. It is here, at these fractured edges of their world, that the probability of encounters with humans and their vehicles escalates dramatically, setting the stage for conflict. The story of human expansion is, in many ways, a story of receding wilderness. As our populations grow, so too does our need for land, for agriculture to feed us, for settlements to house us, for industries to support our economies. This relentless advance often pushes directly into the territories that elephants have called home for millennia. Forests are cleared, grasslands are converted to plantations, and the once vast, unbroken stretches of elephant habitat shrink with alarming speed, like an island disappearing beneath a rising tide. This isn't a malicious conquest, but rather the consequence of our species' undeniable success and its ever-increasing demands on the planet's resources. This encroachment has a direct and immediate impact on the daily lives of elephants. The natural vegetation they rely upon for sustenance, the grasses, leaves, bark, and fruits that form their diet, becomes scarcer. Traditional watering holes may be diverted for human use or become inaccessible. Elephants, with their prodigious appetites, require vast quantities of food and water each day. When their natural supermarkets and reservoirs diminish, they are compelled by the most fundamental of urges, survival, to seek these necessities elsewhere, venturing further afield and often into landscapes now dominated by human activity. It is this desperate search for food and water that frequently leads them to the fringes of human settlements, and indeed onto the roads that often border or traverse these areas. Agricultural fields, rich with cultivated crops like sugarcane, rice or bananas, become irresistible magnets for hungry elephants, offering a concentrated and easily accessible source of calories. This behavior, known as crop raiding, while a logical survival strategy for the elephants, inevitably brings them into direct conflict with farmers and places them in close proximity to roads, increasing the likelihood of encounters with vehicles as they move between their shrinking forest refuges and these new risky feeding grounds. Elephants, despite their immense size and formidable power, are by nature remarkably placid creatures. They are intelligent, social animals, often displaying behaviors that we might interpret as gentle or even empathetic. However, this generally peaceful disposition belies a fierce protective instinct, especially when it comes to their young, and an innate understanding of their own strength when provoked or threatened. A matriarch leading her family group will not hesitate to defend them, and even a lone bull, if startled or feeling trapped, can react with astonishing speed and force. Their tolerance has its limits, and crossing that threshold can have serious consequences. Encounters on roads can very quickly escalate if an elephant perceives a vehicle or its occupants as a threat. The sudden appearance of a fast-moving vehicle, the glare of headlights at night, the blare of a horn, or people attempting to get too close for a photograph can all trigger a defensive response. If an elephant feels cornered, with no clear escape route, or if it has had previous negative experiences with humans in similar situations, its stress levels rise. It is in these moments of perceived danger that the elephant's behavior can shift from cautious observation to active defense, a primal instinct to protect itself and its kin. The signs of agitation are often clear to those who know how to read them. Ears spread wide, a swaying of the head, dust throwing, or a series of rumbling vocalizations. These are warnings, an attempt to communicate discomfort and a desire for the perceived threat to retreat. If these signals are ignored, or if the provocation continues, the elephant may resort to a mock charge, a dramatic short dash designed to intimidate. But if the threat persists, or if the elephant is genuinely frightened or enraged, a mock charge can very quickly turn into a real one, a terrifying display of power that no vehicle can withstand. A stark reminder that these are wild animals and we are in their domain. In some areas where wild elephants are known to frequent roadsides, a particularly problematic human behavior has emerged: the feeding of these magnificent animals. Often born out of good intentions, a desire for a close encounter, or perhaps a misplaced sense of compassion, tourists and even local drivers may offer elephants fruits, sugarcane, or other human foods. This act, seemingly harmless, even kind, can have profound and detrimental consequences, fundamentally altering the natural behavior of these wild creatures and creating a dangerous expectation. It is a kindness that regrettably can kill. Elephants are highly intelligent and learn quickly. When they discover that vehicles and the people within them can be a source of easy, palatable food, they begin to associate roads not with potential danger, but with reward. Their natural caution towards humans erodes. Instead of avoiding roads, they may actively seek them out, lingering near them for extended periods, patiently waiting for the next handout. This conditioning can be remarkably swift, and once an elephant learns this behavior, it is incredibly difficult to reverse. It becomes a habit, passed down from mother to calf, perpetuating a cycle of dependency. The negative outcomes of this roadside feeding are numerous and severe. Elephants may become bold, even aggressive in their pursuit of food, approaching vehicles without fear and sometimes damaging them if food is not forthcoming. They can block traffic, creating hazardous situations for both themselves and motorists. They may also ingest unsuitable or unhealthy foods, impacting their digestion and overall health. Furthermore, this artificial food source can draw elephants away from their natural foraging grounds, disrupting their ecological role and increasing their reliance on human-provided sustenance, ultimately making them more vulnerable and less wild. The rhythm of life in the wild often follows the cadence of the sun. For many animals, including elephants, the cooler hours of dusk, the deep cloak of night, and the gentle light of dawn are prime times for activity. It is during these periods that they often choose to move, to forage, and, crucially, to cross the human-made arteries that dissect their territories, our roads. Their large, dark bodies, so majestic in daylight, can become almost invisible under the shroud of low light, blending seamlessly with the shadows of the roadside vegetation, a challenge for even the most observant eye. For a driver navigating these roads as night falls or before the sun fully rises, the presence of an elephant can come as a sudden, terrifying surprise. Even with headlights slicing through the darkness, the grey hide of an elephant absorbs light, making it incredibly difficult to discern from a safe distance. An animal weighing several tons, standing taller than most vehicles, can materialize out of the gloom with little warning. The sheer mass of an elephant means that any collision is likely to be catastrophic for the vehicle, its occupants, and almost certainly for the elephant itself. This reduced visibility is a two-way street. Just as drivers struggle to see elephants, the elephants too may be momentarily blinded or confused by the bright approaching headlights, making it harder for them to judge the speed and distance of an oncoming vehicle. A startled elephant, surprised by a sudden illumination or the roar of an engine in the quiet of the night, may react unpredictably, freezing in place, dashing across the road, or even moving towards the perceived disturbance. These nocturnal encounters, born from the simple fact of shared space in conditions of poor visibility, represent one of the most acute points of danger in the human-elephant interface. The narrative of elephants on our roads is far more than a simple tale of animal encounters. It is a reflection of our planet's shrinking wild spaces and the immense pressures we place upon its oldest inhabitants. These are not monsters emerging from the forest to menace us, but ancient, intelligent beings struggling to navigate a world increasingly reshaped by human hands. Their presence on our thoroughfares is a poignant reminder of their resilience, their needs, and the intricate dance of survival they perform daily in landscapes we both claim. Yet, herein lies not just a challenge, but an opportunity, an imperative to seek understanding and foster genuine coexistence. The solutions are as complex as the problem itself, demanding innovation, empathy, and a willingness to adapt. Thoughtfully designed wildlife corridors that allow safe passage, early warning systems that alert drivers to their presence, and, crucially, a concerted effort to educate communities and tourists about responsible behavior are all vital pieces of this intricate puzzle. We must learn to respect their space, to anticipate their movements, and to acknowledge their right to roam. The future of these magnificent animals, and indeed the health of the ecosystems they help to sustain, is inextricably linked to our own actions. As we continue to shape this planet, we hold a profound responsibility to ensure that creatures like the elephant not only survive, but thrive. For in their enduring presence, in the quiet dignity of their passage, we find a connection to the wild heart of our world. A reminder that its richness depends on the delicate balance we strike between our progress and their preservation. The path ahead requires wisdom, compassion, and a shared commitment to a future where both humans and elephants can journey safely.